This video was produced by members of the Associated Retired Aviation Professionals for the sole purpose of truthfully informing the American public about the facts surrounding the loss of Trans World Airlines Flight 800 on 17 July 1998. ARAP is a growing voluntary cadre of retired military officers and aviators, airline pilots, air crash investigators, and weapons experts who work without compensation to seek the truth. The cost of this video was borne by a grant from Accuracy in Media. Hello, my name is Bill Donaldson. I'm a retired Navy attack pilot and crash investigator. Myself and a growing cadre of people with ARAP have been looking at the Flight 800 situation since it crashed back in July of 1996. In April of 1997, we individually became concerned because of statements made by Mr. Hall, the chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board, and other high officials in the Clinton administration. Their statements concerning this crash were neither consistent with aviation science, the physical evidence that was found, or the hundreds, and I mean this literally, hundreds of eyewitnesses who actually saw the event unfold. As hard as it may be to believe, Flight 800 in fact was shot down, not only by one, but by two missiles. These people were key to finding the truth in this event. This graphic shows the aircraft tracking here. The two missile launch points are here and here. And these red dots represent various people or groups of people that observed the events. And the lines that come out from them are bearing lines. Those are the directions exactly in which these people were looking when they first saw not the aircraft, but the missile in flight. The government, for whatever reason, and it's beyond the scope of this video to get into that, is covering up the event. They had two problems. First, their theory as to what caused the crash was an exploding center wing tank. That has never happened in the history of aviation. There's never been a mechanical failure in a kerosene tank that spontaneously blew up. Conservatively, that's 150,000 years of flight time. The government is proposing in this case that the one time it did happen was in front of hundreds of eyewitnesses that said something else happened. What they did is they created a series of videos, different agencies, different videos. One video depicted the whole idea of a tank exploding, and they did a quarter-scale model of a center tank of a 747 and had it explode on video camera. That was shown in the national media. The problem is this video, as were the other two, have substantial fraud involved. In the case of the blowing up tank, they didn't use jet fuel. They used hydrogen gas combined with propane. Hydrogen gas is the most explosive gas in the universe, but they didn't bother to tell you that. Now, more to the point of this video. This video will make an attempt to show you exactly what at least two of these hundreds of eyewitnesses did see. In the government's case, the problem they had was to discredit these individuals, and they had to come up with a theory as to what all of these people saw down 15 miles of coastline. What we're trying to do in this video is give you an exact replication of what two of these hundreds of eyewitnesses actually saw. In the attempt to recreate this scene, we go to the same areas at exactly the same time, same weather conditions. We compute the angles, velocities, and relationships that were present in the evening sky on the 17th of July, 1996. We're going to look at the viewpoint from two of our key eyewitnesses that were some of the closest that were involved in this.
This first eyewitness viewpoint is that of Albert Geip, shown here. Albert Geip is chairman of an engineering and consulting firm and is also a former naval gunnery officer. Geip is one of only a handful of people that saw the second missile fire portrayed here.
Now we're going to recreate what Mr. Angeles saw as he slid his glass door open to step out on his beachfront patio right on the ocean front. You're going to see that the missile is already in flight, probably for a second or two, when he opens the door. While you're watching this event, keep in mind that sound travels very slowly compared to light. It takes about 5 seconds for sound to travel a nautical mile. Keep that in mind. I know what you just saw was very complex, particularly to people that haven't had military experience and seen a missile shot. This is common to have a tremendous disconnect between what you see and the sound, the time it takes for sound to travel the distance. We're going to run it again so you can see it and carefully watch again. The color, for instance, in the missile exhaust is a giveaway. It's a clue. And because Mr. Angeles and dozens of other observers noted that color, we may be able to determine exactly what missile it was that brought this aircraft down. Watch again carefully. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the entire purpose of this very short video was to give you a flavor, a taste of what hundreds of eyewitnesses saw on Long Island on the 17th of July in 1996. This video cannot possibly cover the scope and the depth of the motivation of politicians and other people in our government in explaining how this was handled and how we got to this point. As far as I know, our people are the only crash investigators that have, in detail, debriefed these eyewitnesses. FBI agents did it, but the NTSB's crash investigators were not allowed to talk to the eyewitnesses. The Justice Department would not let them do that. So in the end, who are you going to believe? The hundreds of eyewitnesses on Long Island that saw what they saw, or politicians in the Clinton administration for whatever reason, want to give you their version of what happened.